Okay, settle down, guys.
Ladies and gentlemen of the press, good afternoon. Thank you very much for having come at short notice. This afternoon we just want to address a matter that is rather unfortunate, that we should actually be spending time dealing with these issues that really are trivialities, for the lack of a better term. But sometimes, for the sake of the nation, you have to deal with things that the public wants to get information over. But I find this very unfortunate in the first place, that issues around things that are purely made up can keep us occupied as a people and keep us occupied as a nation. But there are more important things that we should be looking at. But if this is what it's called for, then we deal with it. There are issues about the audio that is doing around, in which audio I am heard there with my colleague here, the PS for Home Affairs, discussing with the Honorable J.J. Banda on a number of issues, or issues surrounding his abduction, or so-called abduction. I want to make it very clear from the onset that we did not go to JJ uninvited. We did not take our safes to go and see Honorable J. Banda uninvited. I was called by Honorable J. Banda. I was also called by Honorable J. Banda's father, the Chief Mumbi of Petaoke. The Chief Mumbi is the father figure in Honorable J.J. Banda's family, especially after the demise of the late father to Honorable J.J. Banda. So Chief Mumbi is like the father figure of the family. So Chief Mumbi called me and asked to come and see me at the office. To which I responded to him that it would be improper for me as a subject, as a son, to allow that a chief comes to see me at my office. And I said to the chief, tell me where you are, I will come to you. And the chief stated where he was. And since the matters were surrounding JJ, were surrounding police, I immediately informed higher authorities, and that is how I went with my colleague. And we met the chief. And from there, we also went to meet JJ. The whole gist of the story is that JJ stated that he wanted to put in a plea bargain, that in exchange of the truth over what happened of the so-called abduction, we should sign an MOU with his sister, who is a lawyer, her name is Lenny, and another lawyer of his, Mambwe, that we should sign an MOU stating that if he tells the truth, all the charges against him will be dropped. For which we stated in no uncertain terms that he was in no position to ask for such. He was obligated to tell the truth as to what transpired. Was he abducted or not? Clearly he was not. So, in our discussions, we brought it to his attention that innocent people are being mentioned here. State House staff have been mentioned. To which he says, I am not the one who mentioned these people. It is my lawyer. And that is why I was saying to him that then you need to speak to the press. You need to disown this claim that you were abducted by the State House officials. You need to tell the people that what is there is on record. What is your statement? What is your written and sworn statement? And in that written and sworn statement, you have not mentioned anybody's name. So why are innocent people being mentioned? Deliberately misleading the country. To which he was prepared to do that and tell the truth as to exactly what transpired. But in exchange of us dropping the charges, and in doing so, we needed to sign an MOU with his sister Lenny and Mambwe the lawyer. So we refused. And that was our point of departure. At the hospital, JJ and his family, himself, the brother, the sister, and all the three wives were begging that JJ should not be released from Mainasoko Military Hospital because that is the only place he was safe. After telling him that, well, you have to be discharged now, you have to go to the hospital of your choice because we hear you want to go to Midland. You can go to Midland. He refused. He says, I'm not safe out there. I've wronged people. I'm safer here than security. The family was begging. Himself was begging. But you go on the floor of the house, you see the Honorable Mpundu, Emmanuel, stating before the nation that JJ Banda is being held against his will in hospital, against that of his family's preference in Mainasoko Hospital. So this side, they are saying he's being held against his will. On the other side, the man is in hospital and is begging, crying that he be left in that hospital. The lawyer, State Counsel Sakwiba Scott, stated to the country that the kind of injuries he has seen on JJ's feet were so grave that he last saw them over 30 years ago during the zero option. I think he had mentioned Kapet Moon, if I'm not mistaken. We went there. We he said, sir, where are the souls you are talking about? There was nothing. Did any one of you journalists take lawyer Sakura Scott State Counsel to task to say, sir, the injuries you saw, what happened to them? Is there a miracle that happened that the man is now fit? When you just telling lies. Even the corporate partners were drawn in. They were alarmed by the situation. They were facilitated. They went to Mainasoko Hospital. They went to see JJ. They found the man is fit. And the man even appealed to them that, look, I want to be discharged. There's nothing I'm doing in hospital. I'm not sick. Meanwhile, on the other side, we are being told he's very sick. Even the corporate partners had to write to say, but why don't you release this guy because he's not sick, he doesn't need to be in hospital, and he says so himself. But on the outside, they are claiming he's very sick. Human Rights Commission was dragged to Mainasoko to go and check the injuries that are being reported on his body. They found nothing. Nothing but just lies being told. Now, I want to say this, that I was going to see JJ was in good faith. Because a brother reached out. And even when we went there to see him, our discussion with him was equally in good faith. We only urged him to tell the truth. And also made him realize that these people, they are using you. Right now, they are in bed with their families, with their children. You are here, away from your family, away from your young children, away from your 3 wives. How does that help you? Even now as we speak, JJ has sent a message that I'm not the one who released that audio. I only gave it to them for safekeeping. So even if he gave it to them for safekeeping and it has been released, who will be reported for recording people without authority? It's an offense to do so. It's himself. Again being used. He keeps getting deeper into problems. I was waiting before I could even say, let's respond. I got so many calls from you, journalists. Hey, what about this audio? What are you saying? I was waiting. I needed to see, so who's producing this audio? I wanted to see if it is the family or it is JJ himself. Because I needed to see, because I needed to understand. These people reached out to us to ask for help. Then we go, we have discussions with them, and then they do this to us. And then now it is a whole song now, let them resign, let them be fired, let them be, for what? For responding to a brother's call. Hear me and hear me well. JJ and his family called us for help, called us for discussions, drew us there to discuss. Put your phone on silent, sir. So, we were drawn in by himself, by the family. But you want to create an impression that we just upped and went, and the mission was to go and try and detach the State House officials from what was going on. No. And this that I'm saying here, you are journalists, I dare you. Go and find out from the Chief Mumbi. Go and find out from JJ's sister, Madam Lenny. She's a lawyer. Go and find out from JJ's lawyer, Kennedy Mabwe. And see if I'm telling lies. And I want to challenge you, journalists. Don't lose the gist of this issue. The main matter surrounding this matter also is that there's a journalist involved here. A journalist that was humiliated. A journalist that was beaten, assaulted, and as though that were not enough, had his mouth forced open and urinated in the mouth. A journalist. You ought to be asking for justice, demanding justice for your scribe, for your fellow journalists. But what are we saying? Championing lies. Telling lies, you are busy propagating the same lies, championing them. You have forgotten about your friend who has been gravely assaulted. How do you think the man will live for the rest of his life? How savage can one be? And today we want to turn such into a hero. Justice for JJ. What about justice for the journalists? There are many things that were discussed. But they border also on what is already under investigation and heading to court. But I want to dare whoever has that recording, play the whole damn thing. The whole recording, play it. Then you will hear what JJ was saying and pleading and begging and asking for. So whether he decides to tell the truth or he doesn't tell the truth, it will not help him. All the things that he's doing now will not help him. He's digging deeper and it's getting worse. So please, let us champion what is relevant for ourselves as a people. Let's champion a way of moving forward. It's too much of these lies and propaganda and just wanting to bring each other down. I really wanted to ignore this and not say anything about it. But we've been drawn in, we've been forced, because now the insinuations are flying all over. I want to repeat, we did not go to JJ corners, the family corners, and we had a discussion with the family and a discussion with JJ. Yes, something you want to add?
Thank you very much, colleagues, and thank you for having found time to be with us so that you could be updated on the unfolding situation concerning Honorable JJ Banda. I think before I go into the flesh of my contribution towards this, I want to remind everyone that when we were called in there to have a meeting with the family members, where we did not invite ourselves, our emphasis, and I'll repeat myself, was to ask the family as to how they reach at a stage or level where they could allow their brother to be used. JJ is an independent member of parliament. He worked hard for himself to get that seat as an independent member of parliament. How well was he selected to the point where you family members are accepting the situation where he's being used and whatever amount or price or award has been given and you're quiet? That question is still disturbing. You recall that last month, the Minister of Home Affairs and Internal Security, Honorable Jack Mwembu State Council, addressed the media to update on the happenings of JJ. You may recall that on the 25th of May, there was an issue of JJ having been abducted. The question that the media was asked was, this Good Samaritan who went to check the vehicle, imagine in the night, you see a vehicle parked, even if you have courage, without fear of being attacked. You got that vehicle, you search it, quickly you phone the police, and you phone the selected member of a political party to say this person has been abducted. The media, you were challenged last month when the Honorable Minister was updating you as you should have investigative journalists. You should have gone further to dig. Whilst the security wings are doing the same, so that you can have an independent understanding and judgment of what is happening. I don't think anyone has done that. The same day, there were insults targeted at the head of state. It's like people are singing from the same chorus. Today, those people who were insulting the head of state are no longer doing so, because they have realized that the truth is there, and it will come at an appropriate time when the security wings have concluded their work. The same day, 25th of May, in the evening, one of JJ's wives received a phone call. Go again and look for that. Received a phone call where she had instructions to call somebody who should deliver selected clothes to JJ. who was in abduction.
Link road to the abduction.
We have seen prominent people being abducted, being picked from their homes. Did you ever hear them calling their families? The answer is no. How can a person abducted have room or chance to call the wives and give instructions to take certain clothes, selected clothes to them? That's a question I'm posing to the media. Because you are not following this, sorry colleagues, you have not been following this, only follow something that seems to have some sort that is negative to the government, leaving the truth. On the 26th, the following day, JJ appeared. You have never bothered to ask us how well that house was selected. JJ to have been dumped at a place where he's known to the owner of the house. No, please. The objective is now to bring the people that are not part to the whole thing that is happening. Mentioning officials that are not part to the whole saga. Because you want to discredit the government. So you have not talked about, you have not asked, but where is a good Samaritan? Who immediately knew who selected the people to go? Like my colleague has said, I and my colleague met the Honorable Sakwiba's Kota State Council. You know, when a person reaches at the level of State Council, it's like you are a general. Whatever you say, people take it. State Council Sakwiba's Kota said JJ was in tatters. He had a lot of wounds. I asked him personally, and I told Honorable Sakwiba's Kota that when I was growing, is one of the people I used to admire. Today, he tells the nation something that he cannot substantiate. He has never come back to the media to say that what was said was wrong. However, he had mentioned to say that he said that based on the information that he got. But I believe lawyers, based on whatever they say on facts. So if you have the interest of the nation at heart, in terms of peace, you cannot go out there and say something that you cannot correct. It's unfortunate. That's why you realize, media, that all those who were insulting have gone quiet. Let them come out. If really this was the initiative of government. As a person who's part of national security, internal security, we cannot sit and just watch without updating the nation, especially that I and my colleague have been mentioned in that audio, which audio or the meeting was in good faith, but somebody recorded to twist the facts. So again, like my colleague has said, I challenge, or we challenge, those people who are spreading the audio. Please, can you play the whole audio, since you have it? Don't edit it and add on some spices to give the wrong impression to the nation. We challenge you to play everything. Of course, we have heard some sections calling for our arrests, calling for our resignations. Let them prove, let them state the facts that should lead us to our resignations or arrest. Otherwise, may I state to say that There was no abduction, self-abduction. People should not disturb the flow of the investigations. At the right time, like the Honorable Minister said, the Honorable Minister of Home Affairs and Internal Security, that again, the media will be called to be updated. Why are you in a hurry? For the first time, I met the sister to JJ. For the first time, I met Chief Mumbi. So we did not take ourselves there. Again, may I re-emphasize, it's really unfortunate. Our brother is being used as a pawn. I call upon the family members of Honorable JJ Banda to refuse or reclaim the freedom of their brother by telling those who are scheming to let go of their brother and let the truth come out, other than trying at all costs to implicate innocent people. No matter how long it takes to implicate or implicating people, at some point it has to come to an end. So I don't know what answers will be given. I thank you.
Thank you very much. Are there any questions or clarification? Okay, please.